History is shaped by those who chose growth over comfort. Nations rise when leaders rise, and lives change the same way. If you want your life to grow, your success to grow, and your future to grow, there is only one place to begin: you. Great lives are not given, they are built. Just as strong nations require strong citizens, a powerful life requires a strong individual. In this message, you will learn why personal growth is the foundation of success, leadership, and lasting impact. When you commit to growing yourself, your skills, discipline, and character, your life naturally rises to meet you. Character is the quiet force that determines how far a person can truly go. Just as no building can stand without a solid foundation, no life can grow strong without character at its core. Skills may open doors, and talent may create opportunity, but character decides whether you can sustain success once it arrives. Discipline, integrity, and responsibility are not optional qualities, they are the roots from which all lasting progress grows. Without them, effort collapses under pressure, and ambition fades when challenged. Discipline is the first pillar of character. It is the ability to govern yourself when no one is watching. Discipline means choosing what is right over what is easy again and again. It is waking up with purpose, honoring commitments, and doing the work even when motivation is absent. A disciplined person does not rely on mood or convenience, they rely on standards. Those standards create consistency, and consistency builds trust, first within yourself and then in the world around you. Integrity gives character its strength. Integrity is alignment between who you say you are and how you actually live. It is truth in action. When your words and behavior match, you develop inner confidence. You no longer waste energy pretending or justifying. You move forward with clarity because your actions reflect your values. People trust those who act with integrity because they are predictable in the best way. They do what they say they will do. Trust, once earned, becomes a powerful asset in leadership, relationships, and opportunity. Responsibility completes the foundation. Growth begins the moment you stop blaming and start owning. Responsibility is not about guilt, it is about control. When you accept responsibility for your choices, habits, and outcomes, you reclaim the power to change them. A person who avoids responsibility remains dependent on circumstances. A person who embraces it becomes self-directed. Leadership begins here, not in commanding others, but in mastering yourself. Strengthening your character strengthens your ability to lead your own life. Before you can guide others, build wealth, or achieve influence, you must be able to guide your own behavior. Self-leadership is the highest form of leadership because it requires consistency without applause. It demands that you hold yourself accountable even when excuses are available. That inner authority becomes the compass that keeps you steady in moments of pressure or temptation. Growth does not begin with ambition alone. Ambition without character is unstable. Many people want success, but few prepare themselves to handle it. Character is that preparation. It shapes how you respond to setbacks, how you treat people when you gain power, and how you persist when progress feels slow. Acting with honor and purpose each day may seem small, but those daily choices compound into strength, respect, and credibility. A life built on character does not rise quickly, but it rises securely. Over time, discipline sharpens ability, integrity earns trust, and responsibility creates momentum. When character is strong, growth is inevitable. You do not need to force success. You become someone success can trust. Growth begins the moment a person accepts full responsibility for their life. Progress does not come from wishing, waiting, or blaming. It comes from ownership. Responsibility is the line that separates those who move forward from those who remain stuck. When you blame circumstances, people, or past events, you give away your power. But when you take responsibility, you reclaim control. Ownership turns problems into possibilities and obstacles into opportunities for growth. Blame weakens because it shifts focus outward. A person who blames is always waiting for something else to change: the economy, the environment, other people. This mindset creates passivity. It convinces you that progress depends on forces beyond your control. Over time, blame erodes confidence and discipline because effort feels pointless when responsibility is avoided. Nothing grows in that state. Growth requires action, and action requires accountability. Responsibility, on the other hand, empowers. When you accept that your choices shape your outcomes, your mindset changes. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What can I do differently?" That shift is powerful. It places the steering wheel back in your hands. Even when circumstances are unfair or difficult, responsibility allows you to respond with strength rather than resentment. You may not control every situation, but you always control your response. Taking responsibility for your decisions means acknowledging both your successes and your failures. Success teaches you what works. Failure teaches you what needs to improve. Neither is wasted when ownership is present. When you examine your habits honestly, you begin to see patterns: how you spend your time, how you react under pressure, how you follow through on commitments. Awareness is the first step towards change, and responsibility creates that awareness. Responsibility also brings clarity to direction. When you own your life, you stop drifting. You set standards instead of excuses. You become intentional with your time, your energy, and your priorities. Growth becomes a deliberate process rather than a hopeful accident. Each choice becomes a building block, and each day becomes an opportunity to move closer to the person you are becoming. Leaders are forged through accountability, not comfort. Comfort avoids responsibility. Leadership embraces it. Those who lead themselves well do not wait to be forced into discipline. They choose it. They hold themselves to higher standards even when no one is watching. This inner accountability builds resilience. It prepares you to face challenges without collapsing under pressure. Responsibility is not about perfection, it is about progress. It does not demand that you never fail. It demands that you learn, adjust, and continue. When you stop making excuses, you stop protecting your limitations. Growth accelerates because energy is no longer wasted on justification. Instead, it is invested in improvement. When you take responsibility for your habits, your mindset, and your direction, your life begins to change. Confidence grows because you trust yourself to respond. Discipline strengthens because you honor your commitments. And progress becomes inevitable because you are no longer waiting for permission to grow. Discipline is the force that turns vision into reality. Vision gives direction, but without discipline, it remains nothing more than a hopeful idea. Many people have dreams, goals, and plans, yet few see them through because they rely on enthusiasm alone. Enthusiasm is temporary. It rises when things feel exciting and disappears when effort becomes uncomfortable. Discipline is different. It is steady, quiet, and dependable. It moves you forward even when motivation is gone and progress feels slow. Discipline is not loud or dramatic. It does not demand attention or applause. It shows up early, stays late, and does the work that most people avoid. While others wait for the right mood or the perfect moment, discipline acts. This is why great achievements are not built in bursts of inspiration, but through consistent effort over time. Small, repeated actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but they compound into powerful results. Every disciplined action is a vote for the future you are building. When you choose to practice instead of procrastinate, to prepare instead of delay, to focus instead of distract yourself, you are reinforcing an identity. You are telling yourself, "This is who I am becoming." Over time, these choices shape your character and your confidence. You begin to trust yourself because you keep your word to yourself. That self-trust becomes a source of strength that carries you through challenges. Discipline also protects your vision. Goals are fragile in the early stages. They can be easily crushed by excuses, distractions, or temporary discomfort. Discipline acts as a shield. It guards your time, your energy, and your priorities. It ensures that your best effort is directed toward what matters most, not what feels easiest. Without discipline, vision is constantly interrupted. With discipline, vision gains momentum. Many people misunderstand discipline, believing it to be restrictive or joyless. In reality, discipline creates freedom. It frees you from chaos, regret, and inconsistency. It reduces stress by replacing uncertainty with structure. When you know what you need to do and you do it daily, progress becomes predictable. You are no longer at the mercy of your emotions or circumstances. You become self-directed. Discipline is especially powerful during difficult moments. Anyone can work hard when results are visible and praise is abundant. Few can remain consistent when effort goes unnoticed. This is where discipline proves its value. It carries you through plateaus, setbacks, and slow seasons. It reminds you that growth is happening even when it cannot yet be seen. Advancement in any area, career, character, or personal growth, follows the same rule. Those who advance are not necessarily the most talented, they are the most disciplined. They show up when it's inconvenient. They keep going when progress is slow. They understand that greatness is built quietly, one disciplined decision at a time. When discipline becomes part of who you are, advancement becomes inevitable. Vision gains structure, effort gains direction, and the future you are building moves from imagination to reality. Knowledge and skill are the gateways through which opportunity enters a person's life. A prepared mind does not wait for luck or favorable conditions. It creates its own advantages. Growth is not accidental. It is the result of intentional learning. Every book you read, every skill you practice, and every lesson you reflect on quietly strengthens your position in the world. While others hope for opportunity, the prepared individual attracts it. Learning begins with curiosity and humility. The moment you believe you already know enough, growth stops. A growing person understands that education does not end with formal schooling. Life itself is a classroom, and experience is one of the greatest teachers. Through success, you learn what works. Through failure, you learn what doesn't. When you reflect on both, you gain wisdom, not just information. This wisdom becomes a powerful asset that shapes better decisions and stronger results. Skill transforms knowledge into action. Information alone has little value unless it is applied. A person with skill can take ideas and turn them into results. Skills are built through repetition, patience, and practice. At first, progress feels slow and awkward. Over time, effort becomes competence, and competence becomes confidence. This confidence changes how you carry yourself, how others perceive you, and what opportunities come your way. As your skills improve, your value increases. The world rewards value, not intention. When you become more capable, you solve bigger problems. When you solve bigger problems, you are trusted with greater responsibility. Opportunity often arrives disguised as a challenge. Only those who have invested in their knowledge and skills are able to recognize it and step forward with confidence.
Prepared people stand out in any environment. In a room full of average effort, excellence becomes visible. Employers, partners, and leaders naturally gravitate toward those who demonstrate competence and a willingness to learn. This is not favoritism, it is logic. People trust those who have proven they can deliver results. Knowledge gives you insight, skill gives you execution. Together, they create reliability. Learning also expands your perspective. As your understanding grows, you begin to see connections others miss. You recognize patterns, anticipate problems, and identify possibilities before they become obvious. This foresight is a powerful advantage. It allows you to move early, adapt quickly, and stay relevant in a changing world. While others react, you respond with clarity. Opportunity favors those who are ready to serve it. When preparation meets timing, progress accelerates. The work you do in private, studying, practicing, improving, determines the opportunities you receive in public. Growth demands commitment to learning, not for recognition, but for readiness. When your mind is prepared and your skills are sharp, opportunity does not have to be chased. It finds you because you have become the kind of person who is ready to handle it. Growth always comes before reward, even though many people wish it were the other way around. History, experience, and common sense all teach the same lesson. You are rewarded for who you become and what you can contribute, not for what you desire. Before a person is given more responsibility, influence, or income, they must first develop the capacity to handle it. Nature itself follows this rule. The tree grows roots before it bears fruit. Without growth beneath the surface, there can be no lasting reward above it. Service is the true pathway to advancement. When you serve well by solving problems, adding value, and taking responsibility, you demonstrate readiness for more. People who focus only on reward often grow impatient and frustrated because they have skipped the preparation phase. They want recognition without discipline, success without struggle, and results without refinement. But life does not work on wishes, it works on worth. You are rewarded in direct proportion to the value you bring.
Long before a promotion, opportunity, or breakthrough arrives, there is unseen work taking place. Skills are being sharpened, character is being tested, habits are being formed. This period of growth can feel slow and unrewarding, but it is essential. Those who endure it quietly are the ones who later receive trust openly. Responsibility is never handed to someone who has not proven they can carry it. Excellence has a way of announcing itself. Trust is one of the greatest rewards life offers, and it is earned through growth. When people trust you, they give you access to opportunities, leadership, and influence. Trust is never given lightly. It is built when you show reliability, competence, and integrity over time. Each challenge you handle well becomes evidence that you are ready for more. Each responsibility you honor expands your reach. Progress follows those who invest in themselves. The person who reads, practices, reflects, and improves daily may not see immediate rewards, but momentum is quietly building. One day, what felt like slow progress suddenly turns into rapid advancement. This is not luck, it is the compound effect of growth. Rewards appear to come suddenly, but they are the result of long preparation. Life responds to growth with opportunity. When you raise your ability, your environment changes. When you raise your standards, your results follow. Growth precedes reward because it must. Without growth, reward would collapse under its own weight. But when growth comes first, reward becomes sustainable, meaningful, and lasting. As you rise internally, your external life begins to shift in ways that once seemed distant or impossible. Growth is never just about achieving more, it is about becoming more. When you develop discipline, you train yourself to act with intention rather than impulse. Discipline teaches you consistency, and consistency shapes character. Small, repeated choices, waking up earlier, honoring commitments, resisting distractions, quietly transform the direction of your life. Over time, these choices compound, and what once required effort becomes part of who you are. Your environment responds to this change because the world tends to mirror the standards you set for yourself. As wisdom grows, so does clarity. Wisdom is not merely knowledge, but the ability to apply experience with understanding and patience. You begin to recognize patterns in your own behavior and in the world around you. Mistakes become lessons instead of burdens, and setbacks become guidance rather than defeat. With wisdom, you learn when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when silence carries more power.
This clarity refines your judgment, allowing you to make decisions that align with long-term purpose rather than short-term comfort. Life feels less chaotic because you are no longer reacting blindly, you are choosing deliberately. Strength, both mental and emotional, deepens this transformation. Strength does not mean the absence of fear or difficulty, it means facing them without surrendering your direction. As you grow stronger, challenges lose their power to define you. Pressure that once overwhelmed you now sharpens you. Resilience becomes a natural response, and endurance replaces avoidance. This inner strength stabilizes your life, creating a sense of control even in uncertain circumstances. People notice this steadiness, and trust naturally follows. With discipline, wisdom, and strength working together, your confidence evolves. It is no longer loud or forced, but grounded and calm. You trust yourself because you have proven your reliability through action. This confidence changes how you carry yourself, how you speak, and how you engage with others. Opportunities begin to appear not by chance, but because you are now prepared to recognize and seize them. Your decisions become sharper, guided by purpose instead of doubt. You waste less energy second-guessing and more energy building. As a result, your future expands. The limits that once felt fixed begin to dissolve, replaced by possibility. You realize that growth creates influence, and influence shapes outcomes. Just as strong leaders build strong nations by strengthening their character and vision, a strong individual builds a strong life by mastering themselves first. When you rise internally, your life follows outwardly. The world responds not to who you wish to be, but to who you consistently become. Do not wait for circumstances to improve. Improve yourself, and circumstances will follow. Grow your mind. Strengthen your discipline. Elevate your character. When you grow yourself, your life grows with you, and history, in its own way, takes notice.